The 2025 NFL Draft is less than 2 weeks away, and if you're a Chiefs fan, you're probably drowning in mock drafts that all seem to say the same thing. Kansas City needs a left tackle. Over and over, draft analysts are linking KC to first round. Options like Josh Connolly Jr. or Josh Simmons, and on the surface, sure, it makes sense. The team signed Jalon Moore, and no one's pretending he's the long-term franchise guy. But here's the thing most people aren't saying out loud. They're all looking at the wrong side of the line. Let me be blunt. The real problem isn't at left tackle. It's at right tackle. Jawaan Taylor might be suiting up in red and gold right now, but barring a complete turnaround, there's almost no chance he's doing that in 2026. And if you've been paying attention to his tape, you know exactly why. Let's talk about Taylor. He arrived in Kansas City with a massive 4-year deal, billed as the answer on the right side. In theory, he was supposed to be a sturdy pass protector with the athleticism to fit Andy Reid's system. But reality, not so pretty. Sure, he's held up okay in past sets, but the run game, a mess. The penalties, a disaster. Taylor's false starts were so frequent at one point last season, it felt like he had a different snap count than the rest of the line. Now here's the money line. Literally. In 2026, Taylor's cap hit balloons to $27.4 million. That's the third highest on the entire team, and cutting him would free up $20 million. You don't need a finance degree to understand what that means. Unless he turns into peak Lane Johnson, overnight he's gone. Compare that to Jalon Moore. Sure, he's unproven. He might not even be the starter next year. But his 2026 cap hit is significantly smaller, $18.7 million, and the savings from cutting him, only $8 million. In other words, the Chiefs might move on from Moore, but they will almost certainly move on from Taylor. And yet somehow, every draft expert is screaming about left tackle like it's the only fire in the room. Let's also be real about this class. It's not stacked with elite tackle talent. If you're picking at 31, chances are the top tier tackles are gone. What's left are guys like Simmons or Connolly Jr. who have upside but also real question marks. Do you really want to force a tackle pick just to check a box? Especially when players with higher ceilings at other positions, like receiver or edge, might still be on the board. This is where strategy has to win over hype. The smarter play? Get value. Use pick 31 on the best player available, not just the highest ranked tackle left. And then later in the draft, target a right tackle to develop. Someone who can learn behind Taylor for a year and be ready to step in when the time comes. Thankfully, this class has some intriguing right tackle. Will the Chiefs trade up in the 2025 NFL Draft? History says, don't blink. Here we are again. The Kansas City Chiefs are back where they always seem to be, waiting at the back of the NFL Draft's first round, watching 30 other teams make their picks. But if there's one thing this franchise has proven over the past decade, it's this. The draft order doesn't dictate their destiny. They do. As things stand, the Chiefs hold the number 31 pick in the 2025 NFL Draft. And while on paper, it looks like another patient, late-round selection from a perennial contender, don't be fooled. General Manager Brett Veach and his crew are always lurking, always calculating. That number 31 slot, it might just be a placeholder. Because when the Chiefs fall in love with a player, they move. Don't forget 2017. The Chiefs weren't content to wait that year. They saw something in a cannon-armed, no-look pass slinging gunslinger from Texas Tech, and they made sure he didn't land anywhere else. Patrick Mahomes was taken 10th overall because Kansas City knew their future couldn't wait. And here we are, multiple rings later, living in the dynasty Mahomes built. Now, CBS Sports' Cody Benjamin is predicting that Kansas City might be ready to roll the dice again. In his recent piece outlining what each team should do in this year's draft, Benjamin calls on the Chiefs to trade up, saying Kansas City might have a crack at a solid offensive or defensive lineman by sitting tight. They're perpetually in title contention mode though, which means they're more likely to pounce for a target, and understandably so. Let's unpack that. Because he's not wrong. This is a team that isn't just drafting for depth or future. Potential. The Chiefs are drafting for impact, for playoff performances, for Super Bowl moments. And in this kind of win-now window, sometimes sitting back and waiting just isn't an option. Could a solid lineman fall into their lap at 31? Sure. But the Chiefs don't settle for solid. They go hunting for game changers, and that's what makes this draft so intriguing. We already know the needs. Offensive tackle depth remains a storyline. If you watch the Kansas City Chiefs light up the Pittsburgh Steelers on Christmas Day last season, you know it felt special. Not just because of the fireworks Patrick Mahomes and Travis Kelce delivered, not just because of the stage set by Netflix streaming their first ever NFL broadcast, but because something about the moment felt inevitable. The Chiefs belong on Christmas. It's not just the dominance, the dynasty, the global brand, or the unmatched star power. It's the simple fact that when the Kansas City Chiefs take the field, the NFL feels elevated. And yet, despite all that momentum, all that buzz, and all the numbers backing up the idea, the league seems hesitant to crown them the new kings of Christmas. Earlier this offseason, the Chiefs made a bold pitch. Make us the permanent Christmas Day team, the same way the Detroit Lions and Dallas Cowboys have become synonymous with Thanksgiving. But according to the NFL's VP of Broadcast Planning and Scheduling, Mike North, that dream might need to be put on ice. I'm not sure that's going to become a tradition quite the way Thanksgiving is. North said on the It's Always Game Day in Buffalo podcast. The Lions since the 30s, the Cowboys since the 60s. We didn't commit to a third site when we brought that back about 20 years ago. I imagine we're going to keep rotating Christmas around too. Translation: no guarantees for Kansas City yet. And look, we get it. Traditions take time. The Lions and Cowboys earned their Thanksgiving badges through decades of loyalty and legacy. But this isn't 1965 anymore. The league doesn't move at a snail's pace. The NFL moves where the spotlight shines brightest, and right now, that spotlight is squarely on the Kansas City Chiefs. Let's talk numbers. Let's talk impact. The Chiefs are the most watched team in the league. Their games consistently rank at the top of national viewership. Their fan base, passionate, loyal, global. Their quarterback, the face of the league. Add Netflix to the mix, and what you've got is a digital gold mine. The Chiefs on Christmas Day didn't just make for good TV. It redefined what football on a holiday can feel like. And yet the league is hedging. North added, never say never. Let's see what the next few years bring. But look, I know what you're thinking. The Chiefs and Raiders making a deal? Sounds like a plot twist from a bad sports movie. But sometimes the NFL hands you an opportunity so clear, so perfect, that you'd be foolish not to at least make the call. And Michael Mayer, he's exactly that opportunity. Let's rewind. Just last year, Mayer was the guy. A second-round pick, 23 years old, hailed as one of the most pro-ready tight ends to come out of college in years. A complete player. The kind of tight end who could block, catch, move the chains, and grow into a central role in any modern NFL offense. He was supposed to be Las Vegas guy for years. But then came Brock Bowers. And Bowers changes everything. When the Raiders used their 2024 first-round pick on Bowers, they didn't just add another tight end. They added the tight end, a generational talent, a future All-Pro. And in doing so, they unintentionally shoved Mayer to the background. No matter how good he is or could be, he's now TE2 in silver and black. Possibly even lower in the pecking order as Vegas tries to reshape their identity, which is why Kansas City should pounce. Yes, I get it. Interdivision trades are rare. The bad blood runs deep. But the Chiefs have a front office smart enough to understand that loyalty to rivalries doesn't win championships. Strategic roster moves do. Brett Veach knows that better than most. And with Travis Kelce approaching, the back end of an all-time career, the time to act is now. Let me be clear, Kelce is still elite. But he's also 34. His 2023 season, while productive, showed signs of wear. He's no longer the unstoppable force he was 3 seasons ago. And while he may have another year or two of greatness left, smart teams plan before the wheels start. Wobbling. We saw what happened to the Patriots when they didn't prep for life after Gronk. The Chiefs can't make that same mistake. Now, the Chiefs do have bodies at times.